Richard Dawkins is not contradictory.
I sort of feel at home in the Christian ethos. The things that Christians believe are actually nonsense. Do you believe that his mother was a virgin? Do not believe a single word of the Christian faith. But there's a distinction between being a believing Christian and being a cultural Christian.
We all are. Hi, I'm Glenn from Speak Life. We like to see all things through the lens of Jesus. This is my article for the Saturday Times responding to Richard Dawkins' viral interview at Easter Sunday. I call myself a cultural Christian, said Richard Dawkins on Easter Sunday before hastily adding,
I'm not a believer.
I'm not a believer. During the 10-minute interview on LBC, he praised cathedrals, hymns, and the fundamentally decent ethos of Christianity. Many have considered this to be a shocking U-turn, but it's nothing new. Dawkins has been calling himself a cultural Christian for decades.
I'm a cultural Christian, the same way as many of my friends call themselves cultural Jews or cultural Muslims.
Right alongside his much more vociferous attacks on Christian belief. These two positions, pro-Christian culture, anti-Christian faith, are in obvious tension. Speaking as a Christian, it seems to me like poisoning the roots while demanding the fruits. But as millions online have watched the dissonance in this video, it's more than a viral moment, it's a mirror. After all, Dawkins is not the only one trying to straddle this contradiction. Since the Enlightenment, the West at large has attempted to cultivate a Christian-like ethos while detaching itself from the faith that inspired it. By science, we dismiss the faith as mumbo-jumbo and concern ourselves with an objective realm of facts, all the while expecting values to remain fundamentally decent. Let's call this the split. It's at the heart of this viral video, and it's at the heart of our culture. How to heal it? Well, consider the word decent. As a biologist, Dawkins has written, DNA neither knows nor cares, and we dance to its music. If we are most fundamentally DNA replicators, then it's not obvious why a decent performance of our evolutionary duties involves anything more than a passing on of our selfish genes. In that sense, Genghis Khan was a very decent human being. He did the job better than almost anyone. It's true that evolutionary pressures will teach us pro-social behavior, cooperation with our nearest and dearest, but we cooperate in order to out-Genghis the competition. It's the fittest who survive, while the weakest perish. So where has Dawkins' decency come from? Friedrich Nietzsche blamed the great curse, life's nausea, mankind's single immortal blemish, in other words, Christianity. Most particularly, he saw the Christian preaching of God on a cross to be the root of the trouble. To see the fittest, Jesus Christ, sacrificed so that the weakest, us, might survive, is to witness a fearful inversion of nature. He calls it the transvaluation of all ancient values. For centuries, we have meditated on a victim of injustice tortured to death for love's sake, and we have worshipped. Inversion indeed. Over time, this Easter message has made Christianity take the side of the weak, the low, the botched. But when the crucified God is no longer worshipped, when the death of God takes hold in a society, we don't get to keep our cross-shaped ethic. As Nietzsche argued, when one gives up the Christian faith, one pulls the right to Christian morality out from under one's feet. To the 19th century philosopher, there is an obvious solution to the split. Follow the science, honor biology, lose the decency. In this way, we can quit the pretense that humanistic values are natural or self-evident and embrace power instead. There is another resolution, though. It's hinted at by Dawkins' interviewer, Rachel Johnson. At one stage, she says, I think I'm a bit more than a cultural Christian, although my belief waxes and wanes.
I think I'm a bit more than a cultural Christian, although, it does, my belief waxes and wanes.
Ever an evangelist for the gospel of enlightenment, Dawkins spots his opportunity.
Do you actually believe that Jesus had a virgin for a mother? Do you actually believe he rose from the dead?
Do you actually believe that Jesus had a virgin for a mother? Do you actually believe he rose from the dead? With the scalpel of science, he seeks to cut away all superstition. Johnson responds with personal experiences. She speaks of visiting churches and feelings of transcendence. Dawkins is having none of it. I don't believe Jesus rose from the dead, and I don't believe that you do either. Do you? Johnson slumps a little and admits,
Well, that's biologically impossible, isn't it?
Of course it is, yes.
yes, he grins. And back we come to the split. Christianity has been weighed in the scales of biology and is left wanting. What can be said? Well, it's true that biology does not teach you the resurrection, but neither does biology teach you biology, or how it emerged from chemistry, or how chemistry emerged from physics, or how the whole thing emerged from nothing at all. Christians believe that Jesus rose from that Jerusalem tomb. Dawkins believes all life arose from non-life and without a God of resurrection to work the wonder. At that point, it's a case of choose your miracle. Let's be generous and call it a tie. But here's the tiebreaker. There is something else biology does not teach you. Decency. Dawkins speaks with assurance about decency and ethos. Well, press in. These values are not biological, but they are no less real for all that. There is reality, perhaps the deepest reality, to the supernatural, to that which is above nature, that which inverts the survival of the fittest. There is compassion for the weak, the low, the botched. And the Christian claim is that following this love to its source brings us face to face with a person, not an idea, a feeling, or an energy. Jesus transcends biological necessity. On the cross, he transcends it morally. In the resurrection, he transcends it physically. It's Easter that heals the split. If you want to investigate this Jesus for yourself, we've got a great way of doing it. It's called 321. It's a course that you can binge in 2 hours, or you can do it over 8 sessions. Go to 321course.com and discover life according to Jesus. If you've got this far on the video, why don't you hit like and subscribe to the channel so we can see you on the next one. Thanks.